It was Dr. Stephen Shore who says, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. Now, welcome back to our channel, and thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. I am Terry Ann Alain, proud autism mom, and we are here to share with you tips and tricks of how we navigate through our journey right here on Autistic Edge. This will be a two-part series, and we are going to be looking at the topic how to work with your autism children at home. So in part one, we're going to be sharing with you 5 tips on how to work with your autism children at home. Now, tip number 1, establish a consistent routine. Now, children with autism, they often thrive on predictability. They like to know what is coming next. Hence the importance of having a structure for them to operate in. Having a structure for your child, it helps to reduce anxiety both for the parents and for the child as well. And it also helps to reduce meltdown where the child is concerned. Daily routine, have a daily routine that can help to provide a sense of security and stability. The daily routine can be very simple, and the routine needs to be adjusted, of course, to the need of the child. So we can look at what do you do morning. When you get up first, then you make your bed, then you go to the restroom, then you say your prayer. And I mean, this is also dependent on your child. If your child is not able to do as much as I would have indicated just now, break them down into smaller tasks. So it can be about brushing your teeth. Now have a routine with brushing your teeth. You talk to the child about the toothbrush. Is this a toothbrush? And what do you do with the toothbrush? Help them to identify the toothpaste, how to put the toothpaste on the brush, and then what are you going to use the toothbrush to do? Brush your teeth. Bath time can also be a little routine. Now, when the child knows what is coming next, they look forward to it, and this can reduce the anxiety, right? Now, it can also reduce the anxiety for parents because when you have a structure, you actually have a plan. Secondly, use visual aids. When we talk about visual aids, we talk about pictures, flashcards, schedules, calendars. Help your child to understand and organize their task, and they will know what is expected throughout the day. Visual aids can also facilitate communication, because when you have some of these charts or these pictures that you work along with your child, they can see what the item that you are talking about. When you have pictures or visual aids, it's a very good communication starter, because guess what? Some children on the autism spectrum, they are also nonverbal. And sometimes because they're on the spectrum, because they are nonverbal, we may find that we probably just don't need to say anything to them because they are not going to answer you. A lot of times as adults, we don't know how to start a conversation with a nonverbal child, because some persons will say, I don't understand him, I don't know how to interact with him. But visual aids are good conversation starter. So if you have a ball or if you have a picture, you can start talking about the picture. Say for example, you have the picture of a car, and then you can start talking. This is a car. Tell them about the car. This is a car. And then, yes, this is a car. You can use the same picture to talk about what color the car is and the sound that the car makes, the horn and the car. Having visual aids is a very good conversation starter, because right away it gives you a plan in terms of how to start engage or to introduce a conversation with your child. Visual aids also promotes understanding, right? It is easier for the child to understand, and we spoke about sequence before, so they'll see the order that things come in. So visual aids help you to show or to display the order. So you may be talking about items that you really may not have physically. You can use pictures to display or to talk about. And of course, overall, visual aids helps to enhance the learning experience. Number 3, incorporate sensory activities. It was Dr. Stephen Shore who says, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. Now, we started out on this autism journey, never heard of autism before. Hence, we get on this journey and we just have to learn by the way. And as we went along, we have been discovering new things. We have been discovering, based on the experiences that we have had before with failed strategies and intervention, we were forced to start doing our own research, coming up with our own lesson plans, and working with our child at home. And hence why we are here today to share with you some of these strategies and tips, right, that we have discovered that have been working for us. Now, incorporating sensory activity, I'll tell you a little bit about how we came up with sensory activity. Now, there was a time when all Alex would do is to just run the pipe, whether it's in the bathroom, it's in the kitchen, wherever there's a pipe, Alex is going to be running water. We have had a few nights where we were flooded out because Alex got up in the middle of the night and turned on that bathroom pipe. And when we jumped from our sleep and hear the water running and leap from the bed just to realize you're walking in a pool of water, right? We have had some of those water experience. And in addition to the water, he would either add hand soap, or if it's in the kitchen, he would add dishwashing liquid to his water. So needless to say that sometimes it's soapy water that we come in contact with. Now, that used to be a little bit much for us to deal with. Every now and again you have to be mopping up house, and apart from the fact that you are tired most of the time, yeah. So when we started researching, we discovered that children on the autism spectrum, they do have sensory sensitivities sometimes, or sensory stimulation, or we refer to them as sensory seekers. So what we have to do now is to provide an opportunity that will help their sensory stimulation or their sensory need. And we look at a number of things. Now, what you have to do is look at some of the things that your child will like. If your child likes to touch, what are some of the things they like to touch? So our child likes to play in water. Is it that your child likes to play in the flour, the rice? Is it that your child likes to play in the sand? Is it that they like furry material, or is it that they like slime? Because slime is also a very good one that we find has helped us as well. What we did to help with Alex's sensory seeking demand for water, the first thing we did was we enrolled him into a swimming program. Now, I didn't know whether or not Alex was able to follow instruction of swimming, because at that time he didn't show as if he could really take on instruction or follow instruction much more in the water. I was concerned about that, but nonetheless I sent him to swimming. And I told the swimming instructor that, listen, I don't care if him learn to swim, I just want him to get some water play, because probably that will help us, because it has been a lot for us. All right, nonetheless, Alex went and he started learning to swim, and he does a little unorthodox swimming, not the normal type of swimming, but he knows how to stay afloat on the water, which is very good. Now we can have him in the pool all by himself. We don't have to be in the pool with him. And of course, it depends on the depth of the pool, because we're not going to send him in every pool. All right. In addition to that, what we also did I got a little bucket. I got a friend of mine to build a stand from PVC pipe fittings. So here is a picture of our water play stand. So we built this little stand for him. So what we started to do at home was we put this stand on the outside. We pour some water in it, not a lot, you don't have to fill it up all the way to the top. And we would put a little dishwashing liquid in the water sometimes to give it soap. He likes the feel of the soap on his hands. We allow him to just play in the water, and he would stay there for an hour, 2 hours. If you don't take Alex in, he will play in that water until he's hungry. Now, what we also do, we enhance the water play activity. So there were times when we add toys to the water. We also use the toys to do a little word articulation, having pronouncing the little animals that we had in there. Our caregiver, she would also add coloring to the water sometimes. So they would have, like, we're working on the color of the day and the color of the day is red. She would add red coloring to the water. She would also add some red toys or blocks to the water. And they have a red day where they just discuss the color red and the blocks is red and how many red blocks do you have. And another day they will have a color of the day and they work along like that. We got a number of things accomplished just by giving him that water play basin. He gets a chance to satisfy his sensory seeking needs, and that is by playing in the water and having the soap on his hands. We also get in some speech therapy activity by the articulation and pronunciation of the little toy animals. We also get him to learn the colors where we colored the water. So we got a lot from the activity, so you can enhance your activity. Kinetic sand is a very good sand to use for the children if they like the feel of sand on their hands. We also have textured material, some whether it is rough, whether it is soft, whether it has beads or sequins or some things like that. And then we talk about the water play just now, and also the slime. We actually did a presentation, you can check this video out here, about the slime activity and the benefits of using slime. And the slime really gives a soothing effect when the children are playing with it. Now, I know that for some parents, they really and truly don't like the slime idea, because you know the slime can be a little nuanced sometimes, because if it gets stuck on your clothes, it's difficult to come out. But guess what? We have a remedy for that as well, because we did this video as well as how to remove slime from your clothes. So you can check that video out. If your child is one of them that likes to use the slime, that video you can also check out. Next, another tip in working with your child at home, create a quiet space or a safe space. Now, if you have a big house, you may want to use one of the rooms on your house and decorate accordingly to give that quiet space. You may not have a big house, so you may not have the space to give an entire room, but you can give probably a corner in the house. And look at some of the activities. We talk about the sensory seeking activities just now. Use items from your sensory seeking activities, like for example the textured material, and some of those can be used in your quiet space. Now, the quiet space should be a space designated where your child can retreat if they become overwhelmed or overstimulated. So right there, they get a chance to relax and they get a chance to unwind. Now, fill the space with activity, as I told you before. If your child like music, have a little music in the background, not very loud, because children on the spectrum don't normally like loud music. So therefore, you are going to assess the need of your child and see what is it that your child like, what are some of the things that they like, and you're going to put these things in their space. Probably you may have some perfect toy. No, it is supposed to be a quiet space. It's supposed to be a space of fun. So don't go over decorating. Sometimes too many things in the environment is a lot for them, and that will just create that overwhelming feeling for them. So know your child, get a chance to understand, look at the things that they like and try to use the things that they like. All right, other items that you can use in the space, if you don't have a big space and you just probably want to use a corner, you may also use a bean bag. A bean bag it's nice and fun and huggy, where we went on a vacation once with Alex Xavier. There was a nice big bean bag in the apartment, and guess what, that was Alex's safe space for the weekend. We couldn't get him out of that bean bag. Also, if you can also get a hug boat, and it's one of those inflated boats that when the child sits in the boat, it hugs their body and they do a little rock, and so those are some ideas, and you can come up with your own depending on your child. All right, now the safe space, it also helps to improve self-regulatory skills by recognizing that they need a break and they need a time out. So sometimes for no reason, they might just feel a little bit overwhelmed, and you see that they might choose the opportunity without you instructing them to. They might just take off to their safe space, and that's where they'll be comfortable and have a little calm down time. Number 5, last in this segment, it's a part 2, and we're going to be coming to part 2 next week. Number 5, encourage communication. Now, use simple language. Children on the spectrum, some are non-verbal. Help your child to express their needs and desires in simple language. Consider using sign language to facilitate your communication. So if your child seems to be someone who will gravitate to sign language, well, we tried sign language with Alex Xavier, and that never worked. And talk about the activity that they are doing. So if they are brushing their teeth, talk about the activity, talk about the toothbrush, talk about the color of the toothbrush, talk about their favorite toys, the color, talk about walking outside, some things that you see. Engage them. When you encourage communication, guess what? If they don't see any reason to talk, then they are not going to talk. So we need to create that opportunity or that environment for them to talk. Place things outside of their reach so that they feel the need to ask for help to get what they want. That too encourages communication. All right, offer choices. It's snack time, and you probably have 2 snacks, and then you're gonna ask them popcorn or bun, and give them an opportunity to say which one they want, to articulate, to mime, or even to touch the one that they want, depending on the level of where your child is in their communication. These are some ways in which you can encourage communication by offering choices, and also model the correct pronunciation and articulation of the words that you are trying to say to your child. So especially if your child is just beginning to talk, and when they say the words, they may sound a little blurry, or they sound like something else. So bun could be bug, or bong, or something to the sort. So you want to articulate, model the correct pronunciation of the item, the snack, or whatever, and allow them to repeat after you. Parenting skills are learned. We are not born with them. So we have to be patient with growing these children. This brings us to the end of part 1 in this presentation. Stay tuned for part 2. Thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and make sure you subscribe, so the next time we put out another content, you will be notified.